that's one of the most common questions and mistakes. The answer is no. For you to live in Uruguay, you need your legal residency. The tax residency won't allow you to be living in Uruguay legally.
This is a series from Uruguay on the legal aspects you need to know about living in Uruguay. I'll be talking to experts who spend their professional lives advising foreigners specifically about locating to Uruguay. In this interview, I talked to business analyst Federico Ucar about the requirements to apply for tax residency in Uruguay, which can earn new immigrants up to an 11-year tax holiday on income earned outside Uruguay. Federico works at Atlántica, a relatively new recommendation here at Uruguay. They help businesses and individuals relocate. And what I love about them is that they're very young and eager to provide great customer service, including advice on tax breaks, taking care of accounting needs and tax obligations.
Tell me about the benefits. Why apply for the tax residency?
There's one main great benefit that the Uruguayan government will give to any new tax residents, which is you will get a tax holiday for 10 years or 11 years if you're counting your current year when you get a tax residency, which basically it exempts you from paying taxes to any income that you get from abroad. So that's basically the more attractive benefit that a new tax resident can get in Uruguay.
Who can apply?
Every person that is interested in start paying taxes in Uruguay can apply for this residency. In order to get a tax residency here in Uruguay, there are 6 possible ways. It's not required to fulfill all 6. It's just required to fulfill one of these 6 different ways. The first way to getting a tax residency, and the most common one, is by staying 183 days in the calendar year in Uruguay without being absent from the country for more than 60 consecutive days. This is easy to show. You just show with your migration certification in Uruguay, and with that you can apply for the tax residency. Then the second option or way is by showing that your main nucleus of your activities is in Uruguay. You will show this with a notarial or accounting certificate for your total incomes. Basically, you're showing that you're receiving more income in Uruguay than in any other part of the world. The third way is by basically showing that your vital interests and your family interests are in Uruguay, that you're basically living your life in Uruguay, for example, by teaching registrations, medical coverage registration, or social clubs registrations. The fourth option to go through, and it basically separates in 2, which is about investing in property or real estate here in Uruguay. The first option will be if you invest, it can be in one property or multiple properties. If you invest more than, let's say, $2 million to $2.5 million around it, you are not required to stay any amount of days in Uruguay and you will get that tax residency. And the other way, if you do an investment of around or minimum of $500,000, you can get your tax residency, but you also have to stay in Uruguay for 60 days. The last way of getting a tax residency is by investing. It can be directly or indirectly companies in Uruguay.
So you've got your tax residency. Does that mean that you're actually allowed to live here in Uruguay?
Well, Karen, that's one of the most common questions and mistakes that people do when asking this kind of question. The answer is no. For you to be able to live in Uruguay, you will need your legal residency, which is a different residency from your tax residency. For example, you can be living in Uruguay with your legal residency, but you will still be paying taxes, or your tax residency will be on your own country where you're from, and the other way around. But basically, for you to live in Uruguay, you need your legal residency. The tax residency won't allow you to be living in Uruguay legally.
Great. I'm glad we've cleared up that, because that's a question that I get asked a lot as well.
It's very common. Basically, with the benefit that the Uruguayan government will give to new tax residents, is Uruguay is really inviting people and investors to come to Uruguay. That's why it's so attractive nowadays to do this kind of residency in Uruguay.
So if you're thinking about relocating to Uruguay, make sure you check out our website, uruguay.com, and hit the Live button. Part of our work involves finding trusted service providers who love working with foreigners and demonstrate consistent quality. Providers like the ones you're listening to now. You'll find them listed in the Live section, as well as hundreds of articles about Uruguay, South America's most charming and most stable nation. And make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Uruguay, to never miss a new video.